Привет, дорогие друзья, меня зовут Ира, и мы продолжаем с вами изучать такую замечательную игру, как притча о Стэнли. Что? Чё? Как? В смысле, а что это вообще за окна такие? А могу я сюда как-то... Кстати говоря, вы знаете, он в некоторых местах просто поднимается наверх, например. Вот так вот. А ну. Как-то можно подняться, нет? Что, прыгать-то он не умеет? О. Ну. Ура, наконец-то. Так, давайте посмотрим. Может быть, можно будет пройти через это окно. И что?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Чего? Ну, можно сказать и так.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Да сколько угодно. А где мое окно?
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told. He was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Прикол. Я еще с удовольствием тебя послушаю. Давай, попой. Выключать я не буду. Нет. Немножко напоминает какой-нибудь русский романс по мелодии. Ну, ты еще что-нибудь споешь? Спой, птичка. Ах, чудесно. Похоже, действительно ничего не произойдет. Эй, вы там! Спасите, помогите! Вытащите меня отсюда! Да, похоже, что ничего не произойдет. Ладно, давайте тогда начнем сначала. Так, опять другой офис. Слушайте. А где те самые компьютеры наших коллег вот здесь, помните? Которые были здесь по левую сторону. Смотрите, мы сразу сюда
When
попадаем.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, я пойду
This was
сюда.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Потому
Stanley
что
knew it perfectly
я все-таки
well.
хочу попасть
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
не в
just to
красную
admire
комнату.
it.
Сейчас мы с вами это проэкспериментируем.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Нет.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Подождите, что тут? Угу. Так, поехали.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps
Мне
we've
все-таки
gotten
кажется,
off
в
on
ту
the
дверь
wrong
бы
foot
можно
here.
попасть.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've
Иногда мне
forgotten
кажется, что
about.
история это про тебя.
Please, stop. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have
Представь себе.
zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but
Да не
I
надо меня
really
убеждать,
do
будь
want
увереннее
to
в себе.
help you,
Я в
to show
восторге
you
от твоей
something
игры.
beautiful.
Прекрасная
Let
игра.
me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Не пойду я. Кстати, надо опять с этими титрами ужасными справиться, чтобы мы... Чтобы игра не улетала. Так. Ну что?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Старая
Stanley
шутка.
walked through the red door.
Нет.
I still don't think we're communicating
Нет, я
properly.
сказала, не пойду я.
Stanley walked
Я уже сходила в
through the
красную.
red
Нет, я пойду.
All right,
Нет.
fine, go ahead, Stanley. You
Стой, подожди.
want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Нет. Как ты меня собираешься
You see,
остановить?
there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never
Ничего.
supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you
Смотрите, вон
wanted?
выход и вот выход.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would
Ты
it
говорил
make
мне,
this
что
game
покажешь
better?
что-то
What did you
прекрасное. Ну и
want
так
to
давай.
see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Uh-oh.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Office Space. Что это такое вообще? Так, ну что? Опять выбор? Я пойду сюда.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Так, хорошо. Отлично.
You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul.
Ты думаешь, меня третья дверь
You can't
поразила?
teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Оу. Stanley Parable. Ух ты. Смотрите, нифига себе, это онлайн. Это интернет. Результаты как бы, да? Только 3% выбрали голубую дверь, смотрите. Обалдеть. А это я, да? Сколько тебе нужно, чтобы выбрать правильную дверь? Это статистика, супер. Слушай, здорово сделали. Так, я все равно сюда пойду, что ты думаешь?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Так, а если я вот так попробую?
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game,
Что?
the baby crawls left towards
Чего?
danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Эть! Эть!
You
Эть!
heartless bastard. Did
Сам
you do
такой.
it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to
Обиделся.
ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Так. О!
Well,
Чего?
Stanley, is this any better? At last, the
Это
one
что,
thing you've
Майнкрафт?
always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me
Я-
that, Stanley.
Слушайте, я
Will it
прыгать не
ever
могу. Как
be
я тут
enough?
буду ходить?
Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
А ну, давай, покажи мне. Где?
This
Опа.
will go here. No, here. And then...
Потрясающе.
Let's see,
Майнкрафт.
what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made
Слушайте,
this,
а
Stanley.
потрясающе.
Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed
Давай,
at your
давай, давай.
own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself
Да, с
comfortable.
удовольствием, давай.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be
Да,
better.
да, да, супер.
Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it
Да, давай
out
из
of
алмаза, да.
diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Да, да, пошли. А собирать я не могу ничего. Так, опять. Ух ты, шахты открытые. Супер.
Oh my, it looks like it's
Ой,
going to
это
get a bit
музыка.
dark. Have you brought a light?
Не, к сожалению, нечем мне светить, по-моему.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Ой, вы слышали, там, по-моему, даже эти мобы появились. Какая игра теперь, что покажешь?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Что это? Это, по-моему, Portal, нет?
You trapped in a glass box, no way out, listening to me
Интерактивность.
talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this
Интерактивность.
game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm
Интерактивность.
curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Даже не можешь понять. Да как ты не можешь? Это же Portal. Супер. Офигеть.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Эх, черт. Понятно. Так, а как кидать-то? Подождите, а как кидать?
Genius.
Издевайся, сволочь. Блин, я не могу кидать, я не знаю, как кидать. В чем дело? Так, останемся здесь. Вот я балбеска, реально гений. Хотела сначала этот куб сюда закинуть. Зачем?
No, actually, you know what? I
Oh.
think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Ты действительно со мной прощаешься? Да ладно. Так, подождите. Наверх я не могу. Ну что, полетели? Вау! Ую! Так, где это я? Flying Cabinets. Такое впечатление, что, смотрите, это какие-то подсобки, что ли? Как будто бы игры, которая на самом деле не была снята. А это что? О, тишина. Эй, ты где? Дружище. Слушайте, а кстати говоря, это случайно не тот ли самый мод? Слушайте, по-моему, это мод на самом деле. Вот судя по скриншотам и вот этим оранжевым стенам, это мод для Half-Life. Он изначально так выглядел, видимо, да? О, кстати, 423. Могу зайти? Нет? Классно. Потрясающе. Так, а что здесь? Это мой офис, смотрите, 427. Так, а что мне делать? Эй! Ну, ты что-нибудь скажешь? Нет мне? Ну, скажи что-нибудь. Классно. Слушайте, еще и немножечко в кусочек мода дали поиграть. Эу!
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Ну, давай подождем. Сам перезагрузил игру. Итак, мои дорогие, это была очень интересная серия. И мы с вами тут открываем все более интересные и интересные стороны, все более и более, вернее, интересные стороны этой замечательной игры. Супер проект, мне очень нравится. Надеюсь, вам тоже. Ставьте пальцы вверх, оставляйте комментарии. С вами была Ира. Пока-пока.